Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Sarah Brank and the Wilderness Center. And we have gotten through everything, the sprouts, the little ones, and everything, the roots and branches the families have got going at the Wilderness Center. If you want to know specific days and times and everything else, go to wildernesscenter.org, and all the information will be right there. Now, we've got adults who love nature and love to participate in the programs. You refer to them as the Oaks.
Absolutely.
So I love how you've got this worked out. So this would be adult education. Sarah, tell us what you've got going for the grown-ups.
Absolutely. We have a wide variety, again, of options available for all of our adult members and visitors. We have more advanced programming for those who really want to get into natural history. Specifically this spring, we have a wonderful program called our Nature Study Series that is actually going to be offered at locations out in our community. So these are programs that are going to be happening not at the Wilderness Center itself, but one is taking place at Local Roots Market and Cafe in Worcester, and the other is going to be taking place at David YMCA in Jackson Township. And this Nature Study Series is a 6-program series of classes all about the lives of plants. And it's going to really dive a little bit more deeply into a fresh look at botany and how plants affect our lives.
Now, I'm interested in that you're not having these all at the Wilderness Center per se, but
right.
So since you're doing one in Jackson and they've got the bog there, are you friends with the Jackson Bog? Is that why? Is there a relationship here?
We're friends with the Jackson Bog, but this is more an opportunity for us to kind of take the Wilderness Center out to
on the road.
Our friends, exactly.
Nice.
A little bit easier for people to make those journeys to us if we meet them in the middle.
That's very smart. All right, particularly if some of the Oaks are really advancing in years and it's tough to travel.
Absolutely.
And you're beyond the time where you enjoy the trails, but would still love to learn some of the things as far as the educational part of it.
Exactly.
Very, very cool.
Exactly. And in fact, we have another program that we are taking on the road, which may be of interest. We are also beginning to offer programs at the Troutman Vineyards just south of Worcester. In fact, we have a program that will be taking place tomorrow at Troutman's in celebration of Valentine's Day.
Why, whatever could that be?
It's actually called The Birds and the Bees.
How appropriate. That's perfect.
You can go and enjoy a glass of wine with your sweetheart, sit by the fire at Troutman Vineyards, and enjoy a humorous and very entertaining program about the mating rituals of
real
wildlife.
And real bees.
Real birds and real bees.
Very cool. How do we make reservations for that? What a unique thing to do tomorrow if you're out of ideas. This is really
Absolutely.
fun.
This is a different take on Valentine's Day, but it's one your sweetheart will remember, I'm sure.
Never forget. Do we need reservations? How do we do this?
Yes.
Okay.
You will want to make reservations by calling the Wilderness Center at 330-359-5235.
Can you give that one more time, please?
Absolutely. It's 330-359-5235. And those tickets are $10 a piece and include a glass of wine. And all of the proceeds go to benefit the Wilderness Center.
Well, that's a brilliant idea. Birds and bees for Valentine's Day.
That's right.
The Wilderness Center. Who better? Okay. You have more for adults, yes?
We do. We actually have a wide variety of special interest groups and clubs. Different adult members who get together to learn a little bit more and share some of their hobbies and interests.
Well, I'm very familiar with the wood carvers. My father had been so involved with that and loved it. So the wilderness wood carvers, that's always something to see when they do a program. And all of the wood carvings often have something to do with nature. It's
Absolutely.
just beautiful.
Oh.
What else do you have? What other special interests?
We have a readers group that meets regularly, and they focus on specific literature that is related to nature. Mm-hmm. We have a botanizers club that goes out for walks in the woods and teaches folks how to identify plants. We have a photo club, a nature photo club that is very, very active. And in fact, they will soon begin accepting entrants to their annual Photo Fest, which is also going to be judged and displayed during our Earth Day celebration. We have a bird club, which is very active as well. They take different trips and lead hikes at the Wilderness Center. We have a wild edibles group that is focusing on medicinal and edible plants that you can go out and forage in the woods.
Park there 1 second. Okay, wild edibles. Are we talking about knowing which mushrooms are okay and which ones to keep away, like not even approach them?
Absolutely. So the wild edibles group, they do discuss foraging. They also will dive into botanical lore. They will discuss different permaculture practices. Some of their topics of their meetings dive into homesteading skills like beekeeping or having backyard chickens. So they really want to run a very wide spectrum.
Are recipes involved? Do they teach you
Yes.
what to do with this? So it's a cooking
Absolutely.
class with what's growing in your grass.
It's yes, kind of. Kind of.
Dandelion
They
salad.
do.
and-
They discuss edible
Really?
flowers. They this year they will take both a spring and a fall mushroom identification hike.
And are you qualified after taking this to really be able to do that? Or is it still smart to just let an expert pick your mushrooms?
It's a very good idea to
Yes.
be very confident, and that's something that they will discuss in those classes is other mushrooms that could be mistaken, that would be concerning, or which mushrooms are definitely not ones that you should pick if you're uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also ethical foraging is something that they discuss, safety certainly, and methods of preparation. So it's really a fascinating group.
Is this gotten to be sort of a thing? Are people becoming more and more involved with it? I've heard of more and more of my friends are raising bees.
Absolutely. Well, yes. And we're seeing more and more people showing interest. While a lot of our classes talk about, planting native flowers and different native vegetation to help the bee population, beekeeping is the next step for a lot of people who are really passionate about supporting our pollinators.
Bees are in trouble, aren't they?
They really are
Why
in
is that?
decline. There are a lot of different reasons. There are colony collapse diseases that are getting into our bee populations. There's a lot of problem with different chemicals that are being sprayed that are hurting our bee populations. And also there's a shortage of the kind of native varieties of wildflowers that can help support our bee population.
Well, it all goes together because if the bees aren't pollinating those other things, then all of the food, it all goes south at that point.
That's
doesn't it?
exactly right. That's exactly right.
We need bees.
It is in our own best interest to
Right.
preserve our bee population.
Very cool. Now, I'm always learning so much every time I'm around anyone from the Wilderness Center. I'm not the only one learning. You teach homeschoolers how to teach their own children. What have you got for our homeschooling families?
Yes. Well, for our homeschooling families, we offer monthly Homeschool Thursday programs. So they can bring their children in for classes once a month to really enrich their curriculum, give them an opportunity to do hands-on experiments, meet with other kids, have that social experience. Beyond those homeschool programs, though, we also are offering classes for our homeschooling parents to support them, to help teach them different techniques that can allow them to then, in turn, go home and really enrich their curriculum with their own children.
Yes, when do these take place?
We have a program scheduled for April 17th. To help homeschooling parents learn survey techniques that they can then take into their own backyard, surveying birds, mammals, reptiles and amphibians, and insects. And this will also offer you lesson plans that you can take back into your own home. And in fact, in September, we'll also be offering another class that is specifically focused on using insects to teach different biological principles. So we're really trying to do what we can to support that homeschooling community as well.
And then any day, homeschooling families are welcome to come to the Wilderness Center.
Oh, of course.
Just on their own, have some fun and explore.
Absolutely. There's always something that families can learn when they come out to the center. And in fact, anybody who stops by on a regular, any day of the week can swing into the Wilderness Center. We have little backpacks that they can pick up and take out onto the trails with them that contain wonderful special activities that they can use to enhance their own trail hikes.
The gift shop is always fun.
Oh,
let's
yes.
take an audio tour around the gift shop. What can we find there?
Oh, our gift shop manager is doing a wonderful job of really bringing in a lot of work by local artisans, different homemade wonderfully inspired pieces that are available. It's local pottery, beautiful hand-knit items, really one-of-a-kind pieces that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Very, very cool. Well, find out all about everything at wildernesscenter.org. Also, if you want to get in on tomorrow's fun activity or anything that we've talked about, call 330-359-5235. Sarah Brink, thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.